Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Mania Live. So great to have you with us for this Friday, the 12th day of May, the year 2022. And of course, this is yours truly, Andrew L. Perry. Thank you very much, as always, coming to you live and at you from the busy streets, which is New York City, as I chat to you what is happening in the world of sports. We have a lot. Well, we don't have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. Of course, we got baseball. But the theme today of this episode is going to be the NBA playoffs, and we're going to start right from there as the Dallas Mavericks forced the game 7 against the Phoenix Suns on Sunday. Which should be really, really fascinating. The Mavericks look down and out, and the home team so far, except for the Celtics Bucks series, which is Game 6 tonight. See if the Boston Celtics could force a Game 7 as well. But for the most part, for this series with the Mavericks and Suns, this series has been a lot of firepower as expected, and both home teams have dominated. So let's see. So they throughout the whole series. But we'll get to the Suns and the Mavericks as the broadcast go along. But I would like to start, of course, I would like to start off with the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat as the Miami Heat wrap up close the series last night against the Philadelphia 76ers, eliminate them by the score of 99-90, and this is the fifth game. This is the seventh game in this postseason that the Miami Heat have put their opponent under 100 points. Which is really remarkable. That tells you how good this Miami Heat team. And this is their 9th Eastern Conference Finals in franchise history, which is really remarkable in itself. And this Miami Heat team, in my opinion, I think this is the best one. This is the best one, in my opinion, in franchise history. And no disrespect to all the Alonzo Mourning, the Jamal Mashburn, the team under the Miami Heat of the 90s, Tim Hardaway, and which the Miami Heat before was a really good team in the 90s, but this Miami team, this is something special. This is really something special, and no disrespect to Dwayne Wade, Shaq, and LeBron James either. This is, in my opinion, I was thinking about this last night. This might be the best Miami. This is the best Miami team that they had, in my opinion, because they are very, very deep. They have depth. They could play defense. They could turn offense into points. And honestly, the Miami Heat remind me of the Miami Hurricanes. Let me put it this way: the type of defense they played yesterday against the Philadelphia 76ers reminded me of the 85 Bears, the Steelers of the 1970s, the Baltimore Ravens in 2000. You want to throw in the New York Giants of the 80s. Any of these great defense you could match up to. That's how Miami Heat played last night. They turned defense into offense, and they score at will. And from the second half, especially, they blitz the Philadelphia 76ers. And the Philadelphia 76ers, Doc Rivers said it best, and they did They had no answers. They couldn't. The 76ers can't even get an offensive rhythm in that game. That game was over from the middle of the third. From the middle of the third quarter, that was it. When it got to 68-52, and Doc Rivers called a timeout. When under, I believe, if I'm mistaken, maybe 3 minutes to go. It was around almost to the end of the fourth quarter. That was it. This game was over, and by the fourth quarter, this game was over as the Sixers fans get to heads for the exit, and the Miami Heat, give them credit. Everybody from Max Strong to Jimmy Butler, of course, the heart and soul of the Miami Heat team. Every starter in that Miami Heat team was in double figures, which is really comfortable. And they hold the 76ers to 50% of it. Hold the 76ers to 50% of the field. Now, let's get to the 76ers. And to me, it's the same way how they ended up last year. Okay, a lot of distractions, of course, but to me, don't blame this on Doc Rivers. Do not blame this on Doc Rivers, even though Doc Rivers is going to be the scapegoat. Guarantee this. If they find a new coach, they're going to make Doc Rivers the scapegoat, but Doc Rivers is not the reason why they lost the game. To me, they lost this game, and the game get out of hand in the second half is because of one person, and his name is James Harden. James Harden, forget about it's not the 11 points he scored. It's the shot attempts he took. And it's not just that he only took 2 shots, okay? In my eyes, he tried to look too. He played he didn't make adjustment. He didn't make adjustments in the second half at all. He played the same way he did in the regular season. He played the same way he did in the playoffs, and this has been a pattern we've been seeing for the last 5 years. We saw that with Houston. We saw that with the Brooklyn Nets, and now we saw that with the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't know, and if you're the 76ers fan, I don't know which game hurts more. The one last year in Game 7 against the Atlanta Hawks, or this year? Well, you know what? I just answered my. You know what? Forget that. I just answered my own question. Though last year was worse because Game 7 was in your building, and Ben Simmons did not take a shot at all. I didn't mean to bring up Ben Simmons, but anyway. But this was for a superstar of his caliber. This is the worst performance James Harden has had, for me, I don't want to hear I don't want to hear anybody rave about James Harden again, because you cannot be a great player in my book, and you cannot deliver in the playoffs. And we've been seeing this from James Harden since he joined the Houston Rockets. And it's been the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Unacceptable is not even a word. This was an atrocious performance by a superstar, by a basketball player of his caliber, that you made that in the middle of the season, what the 76ers trade for. And you end up back in the same position like you were a year ago, last June. And like I said, everybody played their hearts out, and I saw and for James Harden for have the nerve to say next question to Doc Rivers, say he don't want to play for Doc Rivers and he want to play for Mike D'Antoni. First of all, First of all, and then he got into an argument. He got into an argument with Tyrese Maxey, who Tyrese Maxey played his. By the way, Tyrese Maxey, who played his heart out, gave it his all. Him and Joel Embiid, and that Danny Green injury was a huge blow for that game. And honestly, after they took the lead, and after the Heat took the lead at halftime, and like I said, that was pretty much it, because the 76ers had no answers. But let me get back to James Harden. For him to act like, I said it in the press conference, said it at the podium, I feel good. Like he don't give a damn in the world. Like he's not the problem. And this is the point. I don't know about you guys, but this is the point. I've had enough with James Harden. I don't want to hear. Let's stop raving about James Harden. He's a good player. He's a good shooter. But I'm not gonna consider him a great player anymore. I'm not gonna consider him a great player. Don't tell me he's the greatest player of all time. You can't be a greatest player of all time and you only have shot 2 attempts in the second half. When you're a great player, you deliver. You show up you show up when it matters most. And it doesn't matter what the coach is. You play your game then in and then out, and you make adjustments. That's it. Just because you didn't like the way just because you don't like the coaches you don't like the coach you play for, or you're gonna play bad intentionally. Enough of that. And and let's stop catering to James Harden. Yes, he's gonna get his 44 million. But I wish I want to get, if I was the 76ers, why would I'm gonna give him a contract after this? He may get an extension, but in my eyes, he don't deserve it. Because this is the same thing we seen when he was in Houston. In Houston, he had Dwight Howard, it didn't work out. Russell Westbrook, it didn't work out. You had Chris Paul, it didn't work out. Talk about I was feeling good moving the ball. You was turning the ball over multiple times. What are you talking about? And you feel good? You feel good about that? You turned the ball over 5 times in the second half. 5 times. And you feel good about that? Listen, if I'm Joel Embiid, I will strongly, and my brother and I talked about this yesterday, I will strongly consider, if I'm Joel Embiid, to go get it, to either something got to change, or I want to get the hell up out of here. Cause how long I can continue how we continue this? This is the 12th playoff appearance for the Philadelphia 76ers in the last 10 years, and without reaching the Eastern Conference Finals. They haven't reached the Eastern Conference Finals since 2001, when Allen Iverson was playing and Larry Brown was the head coach. Listen, and this is the third time. This is the third and fourth time that the Philadelphia 76ers and Joel Embiid and that core have got bounced in the second round and get bounced in the second round and haven't reached the Eastern Conference Finals. Something got to give. Something they got to make some changes. They have to make some changes. Something has to happen. Because if I'm a Philadelphia 76er, I am sick right now. Yes, listen, the Miami Heat, give them credit. The Miami Heat, give them credit. They showed you why they were the number 1 seed. They're going to be a tough out for either Milwaukee or Boston. And let's keep in mind too, the Milwaukee Bucks swept the Miami Heat last year. Let's keep that in mind. The